Hello and welcome back to Gapey's Garden. Today I wanted to show you the fruit and berry trees and bushes that I have in the yard this year. I haven't really gone over those in any videos, I think. But I'm going to start here with the apple trees. So this one is one that I just planted last spring. This is a Whitney crab apple. It's supposed to get fairly large apples for a crab apple, and they're supposed to be pretty tasty too. But I got this more as a pollinator for the tree that's next to it, which I'll show you in a second. But we've got our first fruits. We have, I think I've only seen maybe 2 or 3 fruits on it, but this is the size they are currently. I'm not sure how big exactly they'll get, but I've got one there, and I've also got another one. There's another 2 that are up here. So they're already a pretty good size, so they should get a little bit bigger. And then below that I've got some mulch of wood chips, and then I planted some garlic seeds all around it, and they're doing okay. They're not doing great, but when you plant garlic from a seed, it takes 2 years to get a bulb out of it. So I'll just leave those in there until next year, and we'll see if we can get any bulbs out of those. But I thought it would be something fun to give a try. I've never actually done that before, but I do know other people that have had some success. So we'll see how that goes. And then next door to that, we've got our Brayburn apple tree, and it did really, really well last year. Got tons of apples, and it didn't even have another pollinator. So it does seem to self-pollinate pretty well. It doesn't do that great every year, but yesterday was a pretty exceptional year. But we've got quite a bit of fruits on it. I do tend to get a lot of black spots on there. I did hang a couple of these yellow sticky tags, and you could see how full of bugs this thing is. So it's got tons of bugs in here, and I probably should put up some new ones, but I put this one up first. That one is just totally covered in bugs. And I also did my first try at grafting this spring, and I think I tried 5 grafts, and at least 2 of them took, maybe even 3. So we've got one up there. I don't know if you can see it very well. You can see the tape here where I taped it. So I just used grafting tape, and then I covered the grafting tape with the blue tape, and the blue tape is just really more so I could find it easier. And then I've got another one right here, and I grafted a Gravenstein variety onto there. And then I've got another one kind of way up here. There's actually an apple. You can see that apple on the end of that twig there. That's an actual graft. So I was kind of excited to see an apple already forming on a new graft. So we'll see if that one reaches maturity. And then the other big tree we have back here is a plum tree. So this one is a Brooks, I think it's an Italian variety. It gets nice purple fruits on it. Some years is more productive than others. Last year was a really good year. The year before that was not, but we do look like we have quite a few fruits that are hanging up on there. So hopefully this will be a good year for the plum. And then I'll show you one more tree back here. I've showed it before. This is the new fig tree that I just planted this spring. This one is a Latarula, or Italian honey. So it's doing pretty good so far. I'll be doing another fig update, so I'm not going to talk too much about the figs today, but that's how it's looking so far. It looks like some of the leaves are getting a little chewed up by something, but otherwise it's doing pretty well. Maybe we'll get some figs off of it this year. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and find out. All right, and then the other thing I wanted to show you is the blueberries. So they're just starting to ripen. I've got this net covering it, and this isn't your typical bird netting. I really, really highly recommend you don't use the cheap bird netting, because birds get caught in it really, really easily. We had several birds get stuck in our original netting that we used, and we finally decided to just take it off because it was really not a good thing for the birds. So we found this one on Amazon, and it's made out of it kind of feels like a heavy duty garbage plastic bag, but it's super easy to put on. It doesn't get tangled up, and we've never had a bird get stuck in it. So highly recommend this. I'll put a link to the Amazon where we got this, and hopefully you give it a try. We've got lots of berries that are starting to ripen in here, and we'd already seen birds trying to get at them. So we just put this up over the weekend. I've got 10 different varieties in here, and I'll go into the varieties in more detail in another video. I actually did one last year. You can see more about the berries that are in here, but they're very, very productive. I've had really good luck with most of the varieties that are in here. So I'll put a link to that video also, and you can go check that out for more. And then next to this we have another raised bed, and this one has the ever-bearing orange raspberries, and we already had some berries on here, and I took out all the old canes because they were looking pretty terrible. So all that's in here now is all the new growth, and I don't think we've got any berries on this new growth yet. But I'll put a picture of what the berries look like up in the video, so you can see how great they are. They're really productive. And this is an ever-bearing variety, so it does produce most of the year, or most of the summer. And then next I wanted to show you the strawberries. So we've got strawberries underneath the apple tree. This one is probably my favorite. This is a Shucksand variety, and all the strawberries I have are Pacific Northwest local strawberries, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to find those in other areas of the country, but these varieties grow really well here in Western Washington. But the Shucksand is really productive, spring-bearing, June-bearing variety. So I've already harvested quite a few of these, and you can see there's still a lot more yet to be harvested. This one looks like it's ready, but you do have to watch out for slugs because they do tend to eat these as soon as they're ripe. So I've been checking this every day to make sure I can get them before the slugs do. And then we've got more strawberries back here, and I think this is the Hood variety, but these are ones that are just kind of growing wild in the pathway back here that used to be in this bed where the asparagus is, but I took them out and then they just kind of jumped over and started growing along here. So I've just been letting those grow wild. And a lot of these, I mean, it's just growing in wood chips, so it's not very healthy soil that they're growing in. So I usually, if there's any really good ones like this is a really good one actually, I'll keep that. But most of these, the slugs get to them, or I'll just feed those to the chickens because they usually don't get very big. I don't water these at all, so I'll just toss those over to the chickens most of the time. So let's give one to them and see who gets it. They love their strawberries, and that one seems to get the strawberries the most often. I almost forgot, we also have some strawberries under the plum tree. These are also a local strawberry variety called Seascape, and these ones are ever-bearing, and they don't spread nearly as well as the other ones. So there's actually only 3 in here, and they're not super productive. I don't know if they need more nutrients or what, but they're just not very productive over here. So I've harvested a couple of those, but they do seem to do better, I think, in the summertime. So hopefully we'll get some more of those, and they'll spread a little bit more this year. But yeah, we've only got 3 back here, so I'm not too happy with this variety. The June-bearing ones seem to work better for me. All right, let's go take a look at some more strawberries in the front yard. So here in the front yard we have some wild strawberries. These were planted by the birds, so I have no idea what variety they are, but they have spread quite a bit over the last few years. So this started out as just one plant probably 3 or 4 years ago, and it spread all along the driveway here. And it's the first variety to ripen because probably it has the most sun. It's still producing a few fruits, but I've harvested quite a few already. A lot of them get eaten by the bugs, as you can see. I don't water this area at all either, so this is kind of just a wild patch that I mostly just leave for the birds, or sometimes I pick a few and feed them to the chickens. And then I've got another patch back through here that I'll show you. That is kind of more in a shady spot. Here we go. So these ones, I put these here kind of temporarily. They used to be under an apple tree that we removed a couple years ago. So I kind of put them here just kind of for safekeeping, and I was planning on putting them back when I planted another tree in the backyard, but I never, well, we haven't planted a tree yet, but I might just leave them back here because they seem to be doing pretty well. The strawberries are humongous. So this is a, let's see, this is the Puget Crimson, another local variety, but look at how huge these are. Really nice, big and juicy ones. And the slugs are getting to quite a few of these, so I've been coming back here and kind of elevating these, resting them on a branch just to lift them up off of the ground, because if they're off the ground, the slugs seem to not notice them as much. But there's quite a few back here. I picked probably a couple pounds back here just in the last few days, but it's grown quite a bit. I think I might have planted 10 plants back here. And let's see, here's one that got eaten by the slugs, or maybe something else. But we've still got quite a few back here that are getting ready to harvest. So this has been a really nice area for these. It's kind of a shadier spot, so they're getting really, really tall. They never got this tall when they were back in the backyard. And then while we're back here, let's turn around and look at the gooseberries. So I've got two varieties of gooseberries. These are ones that I bought at a local nursery. I did a lot of research on gooseberries actually, because there are a surprising number of varieties, and the two that I decided to go with are supposed to be less sour and more sweet. So this one here is called Black Velvet, and it's looking like they're about ready to pick, so they turn a really dark purple when they're ready. So this one I could probably start, they still feel a little bit hard, so they might not be quite ready yet. They should be a little bit soft when you harvest them. And then this one back here is called Captivator. It's kind of it starts out green and then kind of turns a blush color. So this one it's still a little bit hard, so not quite ready to pick yet, but it's starting to get pretty close. Maybe another week or two it might be ready. And then let's move over here a little bit and I'll show you the salmonberry. I believe that's what this is. So I planted this salmonberry as a cutting back here, I think 3 years ago. It didn't really produce anything last year, but this year it had lots of blooms, and it's looking like it's got a lot of berries. You can see a bloom right there. So yeah, so we should get a lot of berries on this. This is a native berry. There's some more blooms back there. And this one kind of likes to spread, so I've been pulling up shoots of this along places that I don't want it. So here's a piece of it here, but it's been growing kind of along here, so you do have to keep an eye on it if you grow this so it doesn't spread too much. So that is all that's back here. Let's go along back here and I'll show you a couple more things. So here we have the currants, and I've got two different varieties of currants. I've got a white variety. I'm not sure what the names are, but I did start these from cuttings. I think it's been about 4 years now, and the last couple years they've been really productive. So these are the white ones. They're not quite ready yet. They're still pretty green, but they should be ripening up probably in a couple weeks. But I have been picking quite a few of the ones off of the red bush here. So we've got tons of berries, and the birds haven't really been eating them too much. I did harvest, I think 2 pounds of the red ones already so far, just in the last couple of weeks. So that bush still has quite a few berries on it. So I'm just waiting for those to ripen up just a little bit more. So then I've got another white one here and another red one here. And I think these two red ones are the same variety, but this bush over here seems to be getting a lot bigger berries than the other one for some reason. It does, I think, get a little bit more sun over here, so that may be why. But these guys over here are a lot bigger. And then one more thing back here is this jostaberry. So this is a cross between a currant and a gooseberry, I believe. But this one got really devastated by the sawflies. So sawflies love these kind of berries. Usually they go after the gooseberries, but they're really going after this jostaberry this year. You can see, I think I just knocked it off. Look at all the caterpillars on there. So yeah, they pretty much stripped this whole plant of all of its leaves. So I don't know if I might get a few harvested off of it. There's one that looks like it's starting to get pretty soft. So I'll get a few berries off of it, but yeah, I don't think I'll see a lot of production off of this one. I need to catch those sawflies a little bit earlier next year so they don't do so much damage. So there is one more thing I wanted to show you in the front yard. So here is another berry that I'm trying out. I planted, I think, last year. These are honeyberries. And I don't think, there were some flowers on here earlier in the spring, but I'm not seeing any berries. So I don't think we're gonna get any berries off of it. I've got two different varieties. They do require more than one for cross-pollination and more than one variety. So I did plant two varieties. I've got one here and I've got another one back here, but neither one has any berries on it. So I don't know if the birds got to them or it just wasn't a very good year for pollination or what, but I'm a little sad that they didn't have any berries. But it is their first, I think I planted them last summer maybe. So I guess they may need a little bit more time to establish, but they did have some berries on them when I planted them. So I know they're productive. But we'll have to wait and see next year. It could be this area they might not be happy in. So I'll give it another year or two and see how they do. So if they don't do well, I may move it somewhere else if I can find a spot. But I thought I'd give those a try because they seem like a fun berry that a lot of people are growing these days. And then I've got, actually, I keep remembering other things that I've planted. So here we have a goji berry, which I planted, I think it's been 3 years now, and this thing grows super fast. So we've got flowers on it, but we don't have any berries just yet. It does produce berries fairly late in the season, and it grows really tall, so you need to keep it trimmed if you don't want it to get too overgrown. And this is probably not the best place for it because it's kind of close to the pathway here, so it kind of spills over a little bit. I do have this little thing here to hold it back, but it's struggling a little bit, so I may move it somewhere else. I just need to find a spot to move it to. I was thinking about moving it back there, but there's a lot of other stuff back there I'd have to clear out first. Like this honeysuckle here, that's really growing. The honeysuckle, I might just get rid of it because it just grows super fast and it's hard to keep it trimmed back. So we'll see, but I don't like the spot that this is in right now. So we'll see. I may move it in the winter time when it's dormant. So that is the last thing, I think, that I wanted to show you this time. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.